Hello and welcome to Trinity College Open Day 2020. My name is Emmanuel Coman and I am the director of the PPES course. And under normal circumstances, I would be holding this talk live in front of a live audience. But obviously, these are not normal times. So I'm in my room at home, and I'm going to introduce you to Trinity and to the PPES course in particular. So, what are we going to do in this talk? I'm going to give you a brief introduction to Trinity College, then get into more detail about what the PPES course entails, why should one pursue this course. As part of it, I will discuss how the individual disciplines, each of the 4 disciplines, including in PPES, work, what kind of questions will you ask during the degree, and what kind of options you have in each of the 4 years of the degree. Then we will talk about some of the career options that await our PPES graduates at the end of their degree, and finally, why some general thoughts, personal thoughts, about why should one choose Trinity College. So, we start with some very brief facts about Trinity. It's a very old institution, 428 years old. It is the premier Irish research university. It also has a very well-known reputation in Europe, but also in the Americas and in Asia. And what I think truly makes Trinity unique is what I call the small city within a city. It is quite in the center of Dublin, so you have access to everything. But at the same time, it does feel like a small community. It has a lot of green stuff. It's like a village. It creates a very, very good atmosphere to study, to enjoy life, to actually be part of the community. You also have, as part of this little city that I was referring to, access to some quite unique experiences. We have a lot of visitors every year that come to Trinity College. And one of the main attractions, you probably heard of, the Long Room, the old library. Also, inside the campus, in the middle of the city, you have a bar, the Pavilion Bar, that offers refreshments, foods, etc. So it is quite like a little village in the center of the city. Now, obviously, these are available in normal times. Nowadays, most of the stuff is closed, but hopefully we will move away from these conditions pretty soon. So, now going to more detail about why should one pursue a PPES degree. The PPES degree is unique in Ireland, and it offers a melding of 4 different disciplines, 4 different yet related disciplines, related and complementary disciplines that offer a unique experience: philosophy, political science, economics, and sociology. And surprise, surprise, put them together and it forms the acronym PPES. So, what do you study? In year 1, all of our students take the same modules. They have no choice, basically. It's introductory modules in economics, philosophy, politics, and sociology. In subsequent years, you will all have the opportunity to specialize, to choose whatever subjects you like the most. You can end up with a single honors degree in year 4. You can graduate with joint honors in 2 of the disciplines. Also, you can graduate with a major in one of the disciplines, the 4 disciplines, and a minor in one of the 4 disciplines. There are a lot of choices. Now, let's see what are some of the things that one would expect to learn from each of the four disciplines. At least in the fourth year, in the first year, as I said, you will have to be acquainted with each one of them. So philosophy will train you to how to question assumptions and how to articulate your point of view carefully and thoughtfully. The discipline explores the fundamental issues such as ethics, morality, justice, the role of state, and there are different branches of philosophy, such as political philosophy or moral philosophy. As part of your degree, you will study the works of famous philosophers, such as Plato, Socrates, Hobbes, Rousseau, Mill, Kant, Locke, Burke, Hume, and Rawls. Philosophy at Trinity also explores the history of philosophical thought and its influence on modern society. And finally, the discipline gives students the confidence to engage in a sophisticated analytical way with moral, political, aesthetic, and religious questions. The second subject is political science. I come from political science. So in the first year, the introduction to political science, which I happen to teach actually, examines political systems and how they work primarily. But if you continue with the subject, and if you wish to pursue the scientific study of politics, which is what we do as research at Trinity College, the exercise of power and the working of democratic political institutions, the subject asks, how do people vote? How do parties compete? What are some of the issues that parties consider when forming their platforms? We also are interested in how European integration works. What are the values behind different political ideologies? And finally, another major question, how does democracy work? And related to that, what can we do to better our democratic systems? The third subject is economics, and it also asks a few very important questions, like what is the best way to provide goods and services and attain higher living standards? It tackles the important topic of scarce resources and competing uses. And finally, economics develops the tools to understand issues such as how to limit or prevent unemployment, how to regulate financial markets, how to control the market power of large firms, and how to help poorer countries grow and develop. And last but not least, the fourth subject is sociology, which is related to all three other subjects. And it's the study of social life, social change, and the social causes and consequences of human behavior. You will be studying the work of influential sociologists such as Max Weber. Sociology examines issues related to society as a whole, such as inequality, migration and mobility, religion, marriage, and culture. How do these issues affect the evolution of societies? And finally, if you are curious about social change as it reflects your own life and the lives of others, then this is definitely a discipline that you will enjoy. So, let's go through some of the modules that are available for PPES students in each of the 4 years. So in year 1, there are 6 compulsory modules from all 4 subjects. There are 2 in philosophy and 2 in economics, and 1 in politics and sociology, respectively. In philosophy, you have central problems in philosophy and history of philosophy. In politics, you have introduction to political science. In economics, you have introduction to economics and mathematics and statistics. And sociology, you have introduction to sociology. Very important, you don't need previous training in these disciplines. And there's a lot of complementarity among them. In Senior Fresh, year 2, we call it Senior Fresh here, you have a lot more options. In each year, as you progress, you will have more options as to the modules that you can take. Some of examples. In philosophy, you have History of Philosophy 2, a continuation of year 1, Logic, Language, and Science. In politics, you have History of Political Thought, which is political philosophy. So as I said, there's a lot of complementarity among the subjects. You also can take International Relations or Comparative Politics. In economics, you can take Intermediate Economics and Mathematical and Statistical Methods. And in Sociology, you can take modules such as Introduction to Social Research, European Societies, Gender, Work and Family, or Power, State, and Social Movements. Then moving on, year 3, you have even more options. Some examples. In philosophy, you can take Political Philosophy, Topics in Asian Philosophy, Topics in Analytical Philosophy, Moral Philosophy, Philosophy of Religion, Metaphysics, Topics in Continental Philosophy. These are just some examples. In political science, you can take Research Methods for Political Scientists, which this module is actually mandatory for those who want to graduate single honors in political science. You can take a module in Irish politics, democracy and development, political violence, but also American government, which is a module that I'm currently teaching. In economics, you can take econometrics, mathematical economics, economics of public policy, European economics, money and banking, financial economics. And in sociology, you can choose from social theory, globalization and development, researching society, race, ethnicity and identity, or social inequality. And as you can see, the topics in the third year are already more specialized than before, and it only gets more specialized as you go. So that in the fourth year, you will take more modules, but also a capstone project, which is an independent project under the guidance of a professor from one of the 4 disciplines, depending on which one you choose to keep. And the capstone project has as its goal either the writing of a paper or of a scientific project or semi-scientific project under the guidance of a professor. And also, as I said, by year 4, the modules are more specialized and the classes are smaller. You will have, by year 4, research seminars with few students in which you interact directly with a professor, and you basically have a discussion-led seminar with a professor. As part of the program, a lot of our students study abroad. The studying abroad takes place in your third year. And these are some of the destinations that are particular to the PPES program. You can study abroad through exchange programs through philosophy, sociology, political science, or economics. And we have exchanges with the University of Bologna, Sciences Po, Paris and Strasbourg, University of Murcia in Spain, University of Warsaw in Poland, University of Louvain, Belgium, Tilburg University, Netherlands, etc., etc. On top of these opportunities through the 4 disciplines, our students can also go on so-called college-wide exchanges. And we have a lot of college-wide exchanges primarily to Asia and to North America that are very popular with our students. Now, a very important question for you, and especially your parents. What will you do with the PPES degree? The PPES degree has been crafted so that it prepares the students for the new economy jobs that require a lot of training on the job, but also some very basic knowledge, some very basic capacity of understanding things of learning new things and of applying the same principles to new situations. So our students have been very successful in getting employment in public service, management consulting, economic and political journalism, broadcasting, banking and finance, economic, social and political research, law, obviously, social work and counseling, advertising, etc. And it's not surprising that employers come to TCD to actually target our own graduates. These are some details for the testing services. The course code and the application in general. The course code is TR015. You don't need to have studied any subjects before. There's no pre-requirements. It's quite a selective course. We have 34 places usually. And these are the final points for the years since 2013 to 2019. So, why study PPES at Trinity? Well, the basic reason that it's the only place where you can. It's a small group, a small community of students that help each other and learn from each other a lot. You would study at the island's premier university, a university with international reputation. And finally, it's a degree with a lot of flexibility. You start with 4 disciplines, but along the way, depending on how well you do in each one of them or how much you like each one of them, you have a lot of options of how to combine them and how to select only the ones that you really feel affine to and the ones in which you think you will excel the best. Trinity College has a tutorial system which is unique to Trinity College in Ireland. Upon arrival at Trinity, each student is assigned a tutor who is an academic, a professor, not necessarily from their field. And the tutor is supposed to be the liaison between the student and the college. The tutor would offer confidential help and advice. The student would support and defend the student. The tutor would support and defend the student's point of view in front of college. And some of examples, direct examples, of actions in which the tutor is helpful. The tutor can help you choose the course, the modules that you take. It can help you challenge exam results. It can help you with family conflicts, bereavement, and in the unpleasant situation when the student is forced to take a year out. Finally, Trinity has a very strong tradition of social life. It is in the heart of a city center, a very lively neighborhood. It has a new state-of-the-art sports center and over 50 sports clubs. It has 6 music societies and a full orchestra. The Dublin University Players Society produces roughly 40 productions per year, and each of the subjects have their own societies, like philosophical societies, the politics society, and the Dublin University Business and Economic Society. Strongly recommend to any student part of the P.P.E.S program to actually be involved in these societies. Also, part of the experience at Trinity, in the second year, all students have the opportunity to take a special exam, the Foundation Scholarship exam, which, if successful, brings some serious benefits. The most impressive one being the fact that the successful students do not have to pay fees and also are provided college accommodation. And the Foundation Scholarship is valid for 5 years. And finally, after 4 years, there's graduation and hopefully your future. That was it. This is the end of the presentation. Thank you so much for listening and be safe.